factor in the attack of Chievo. For Pecchia, well, he's still without Ferrari, which sees as we saw against Benevento. Zuccolini returns from suspension and replaces Fossati in the centre of midfield, and young Verdi, he replaces Valotti on the left side of the attacking three. 4-3-1-2 for Chievo and a 4-3-3 for Hellas. Cold afternoon here in Verona as we approach the 12:30 kickoff time, and still anticipate the entrance into the pitch of the two sets of players. We're just going to hope for a match of some quality. There's been plenty of red cards in this fixture in recent years. Who knows how it's going to come out, but they obviously haven't managed to organise their times very well, as we're going to be starting late, it looks like here. Say the last meeting, February 2016, and that was the last time as well that Gianpaolo Pazzini, the leading striker for Hellas Verona, scored from open play. Since then, it's all been in Serie A, I should say. It's all been penalty kicks, as we see. Well, the international fans here, don't usually see too many South Koreans in the Bentegodi. I'd have hoped for a few more supporters in total. A lot of empty seats, entire faces there. As forward to this, the first meeting between these two sides back in 1994. That was in Serie B. All their meetings have been in the top flight since 2002, 2001-2. They're also going to be playing in the Coppa Italia later on this year, the end of November. Some pretty glum-looking faces out there in the stadium as they're waiting on the entrance into the pitch of the two players, but two sets of players. Chievo's run of 5 matches unbeaten started with the draw against Atalanta, then with Genoa, victories over Cagliari and Fiorentina, and then the 0-0 with Sassuolo. Sorrentino has been in excellent form in goal for Chievo. Made some spectacular saves as finally Mr. Abisso, the referee, comes out onto the pitch with the two sets of players, with Hellas also playing in yellow, wearing their change strip of blue, and Chievo on your right in their home colours. Finally, the fans have got something to sing about. Chievo are the smaller of the two clubs, despite being now in their 10th consecutive season in Serie A. Somewhat supplanted Hellas Verona in this last decade, with Verona down in Serie B since the beginning of the millennium. And they got promotion, relegated again, and back in after promotion last year. LAZIO Cerci scored his first Serie A goal against Chievo 7 years ago to the day. He'll be part of that 3-man attack with Pazzini and Verdi, Romolo, Zuccolini, Bessa in the midfield three, Cáceres, Caracciolo, Suprayen and Fares, the Algerian, on the left-hand side. And Tamai, interestingly, wearing the captain's armband in his 7th season now with Chievo. Certainly a team of consistency. Cacciatore going through there. He played for Hellas Verona for 2 seasons in Serie B and in Serie A. As Pazzini goes through. Desperate for goals, Gianpaolo Pazzini. field. Good control there with the slick ball, the slick conditions as Freakswan Bessa. On the Inter Milan youth player. He's got to show his qualities at this highest level. Now's the time for him to make the step up. To get to 24 or 25. Player hasn't been able to perform regularly at this level. So it won't be in the future. That is the Roma youth player, the Algerian. Verona. Castro. Hard to get going there. Inglesi talked this week that maybe he could be involved in a swap with Milik, as his contract was taken up by Napoli in the summer transfer market. Said he's concentrating on all affairs. Chievo. Romolo. Good pass, but offside. Alessio Cerci. Hasn't really rediscovered his form. That brilliant season with Torino. 30-year-old former Italian international. Played at the World Cup in 2014. Genoa last year. Milan before that. A disappointing and unsuccessful spell in Spain with Atletico Madrid. Cáceres cushioned the header down. Romolo, another former Juventus player, briefly keeps control of the ball. Will be looking for a corner kick and gets just that, and takes the corner flag with him. So a good early start there from Romolo down the right. A good 30 meters he managed to sprint despite the two defenders on top of him, and they'll have the men in the box now to perhaps, as Pazzini was already flying his neck towards the front post. Not the worst attack in the division, but certainly close to it. Benevento, few goals. Cross comes in towards the front post. Tamai winning the header. Hellas Verona had that magical, unbelievable start when they were last promoted. Luca Toni scoring all the goals. Pazzini's career doesn't look like it's going to take off in quite the same fashion as come through the middle of the park. Castro giving the short pass, gives to the playmaker. Glesi in the box, Cacciatore arriving, headed by Caracciolo. Now Cáceres. Fares can bring it forward to see him getting the opportunity. Good, strong, physical figure. Reminds a little bit of Goulam, and you see his long strides. The crosses, unfortunately poor, with Cerci arriving. Gobbi with a short pass. Tamai comes back inside. Finn, international as well. Everyone like Caracciolo. Brescia teams. Cáceres puts it in, spilled, and surely the first goal is put into the back of the net. Goal! Scored his first ever goal in Serie A in the Verona derby. Raptures for the fans of Hellas, and it was a fine strike under pressure there. He kept his composure, the 21-year-old, and just 6 minutes into the game, it is Chievo 0, Hellas Verona 1. And what a moment for the 21-year-old, the Roma youth player. Well, Sorrentino perhaps could have done better in the pouring rain. Difficult to hold that ball, and he really kept his composure well to pick out the corner. And a great moment for him, the beginning part of his career. Got the nod ahead of Valotti. For Roma and Frosinone in Serie A before Hellas, but only scored in the Coppa Italia so far this season.